At some point when you were a young child, there was some uncle or some weird relative that came over to you, grabbed your nose and told you that they pulled your nose off. Now, kids are gullible, but we're not oblivious. Like, this doesn't even look like a nose. But for some reason, the gimmick continues till today because kids believe a lot of things and they take a lot of things in because they're very impressionable. Now, if it works for silly things, it works for real things and serious things even more so. And it's something we need to keep in mind, and we learned this from our Parsha. When we talk about the response to the 4 sons, the response that we give to the Rasha, who's deliberately bad, is the same pasuk that we give as a response for the She'en Yodea Lishal, the oblivious child that doesn't even know how to ask. The Ksav Sofer asks, why is it that we use the same response? The pasuk that we use for both is V'higadata levincha bayomahu. You should tell your child on that day, Bavur zeh asa Hashem li. Because of this, Hashem saved me. And he explains that the pasuk is teaching us an important message here. That V'higadata lebincha bayomahu. You should make sure to teach your child when he's young, bayomahu, while he is still young and impressionable. And he's a she'en yodea lishal. He hasn't even started asking you questions yet. Already begin then instilling in him the right values, instilling in him what's important, teaching him about life and educating that child. Because if you start early, that prevents your child from turning to be like the other one of the 4 sons, the Rasha. When the Steipler went to a family wedding, he brought along his son, Rab Chaim, who was then Chaim, a 2-year-old son. And he told his son, stand up and list the names of the Masechtos. And Reb Chaim stood up at 2 years old. He stood up on a chair and he listed the 63 Masechtos of Mishnayos in a tune that it was taught to him by his father, who sang him the tune of all the Masechtos every night before bed. And we don't need to talk about what kind of impression that made on this gifted child who turned out to be Reb Chaim as we know him. But we have to realize that what we do and instill in our children when they're young has lasting effects. Instead of planting our child in front of a screen, maybe think next time to plant ideas, timeless wisdom into their heads that'll last them and help shape their future. Have a great Shabbos.